So now I'll show you how our kit works. WhiteLab Kits, and we'll use the iPhone 14 Pro Max as an example. After we've opened our box, we need to scan the QR code straight away to bring up our step-by-step instructions. Without them, it can be a bit tricky. For someone who hasn't got any experience yet, but with the instructions, anyone can manage it. There's also a Need Help button to assist you. So let's open the first box, and inside we can already see isopropyl alcohol. That'll come in handy later on. For now, let's set it aside, along with the screwdriver for the iPhone's bottom screws, and of course the gloves. Let's put them on straight away. Let's get started with the repair and unscrew the two bottom screws straight away, just like the instructions show us. Make sure to apply enough pressure so you don't strip the screws. And so the screwdriver doesn't slip. Right, we've unscrewed the screws. Let's see what's next. Yeah, this iPhone's really been through the wars. Now, let's open the second box called Disconnect. I'll put the screws and the screwdriver in the first box so I don't lose them. So in the disconnect box, we've got this tool that looks like a thin card, a suction cup, and a guitar pick. These are for prying up the display. So we attach the suction cup to make it easier to hold, and apply a bit of pressure to the screen. Then we immediately slide in this thin card. We add some alcohol so that the adhesive holding the display softens and lets us open the damaged display. This is probably the trickiest part of the whole repair, but if you manage to do this, you've already done half the job. There's also this thing here. It's a bit rougher than the card, but it's much more effective. As soon as we see a small gap between the display and the case, we insert a pick and run it all the way around, all along the diagonal of the display. I want to warn you not to make any sudden movements, don't rush, do everything carefully so you don't break any flex cables inside. The main thing here is not to rush. So, as you can see, we've already managed to open up our display. We open it from the side of the power button because on the other side, where the volume sliders are, there are flex cables. Step 3. Remove to disconnect our broken display. Inside, you'll find a small screwdriver to unscrew the bolts that hold the motherboard shield in place. And also, right here is a handy magnetic project mat that we've actually made ourselves, which is designed to help you keep every single one of those tiny screws in the exact right order as you work. Because they're all different sizes, and you won't lose them, it's really handy and makes the whole repair much easier. We've thought through every step 1,000 times to make it convenient for you and to avoid any difficulties. As you can see, it's all very straightforward here. The main thing is not to rush, as I've already mentioned. And of course, be extra careful with the battery. Make sure you don't accidentally poke it with anything. Always follow safety rules. and as soon as you unscrew this protective bit from the motherboard, disconnect the battery cable straight away. There you go, we've already removed the display. That's about 70 to 80% of the whole job done. We're moving on to the stage of preparing the case, and when connecting the new display, we use a really high quality display in our kits. In terms of specs, they're very close to the original. Of course, it's not the original, there are no originals on the market. You'll need to use this spudger to remove the old adhesive. Thanks to the isopropyl alcohol we put on it, it comes off and cleans up much more easily. When you're doing this, try not to knock anything. And now we've smoothly moved on to installing the display. Ideally, before you start, clear away all the dirt and anything unnecessary from your desk. Get your workspace ready so there's no dust or grime. Now we put on the new waterproof adhesive. It's actually really easy to do. Firmly press down the edges of the adhesive to ensure they adhere properly and stick securely to the case. Again, I'll say it, do all of this really carefully, don't rush. I've probably said this 1,000 times already, but I'll say it again. At the top right, you'll find a little tab like this. If you pull it, the top protective layer of the waterproof film will come off. Take it off carefully so you don't damage the waterproof adhesive. And that's it. Our phone is now ready for the new display to be installed. Also, in each box 4 and 5, you'll find a cloth to wipe away any leftover dirt, fingerprints or fine dust. With a stick like this, you can remove dust from the cameras if there is any. Let's get our new display out. Of course, you connect the display first and then the battery. Early in that order. That's it, the new display is connected. And that's already good news. Let's put the shield back on our motherboard. I'll zoom in a bit so you can see there. Thanks to our magnetic mat, it's really easy to tell which screw came from where. The screws won't get lost. It's quite a brilliant idea. And I'll say it again, we were the first to come up with this kit. The first to develop it so thoroughly that anyone who orders it, absolutely anyone, can do this at home. And you don't need to buy any extra tools for the repair. Everything you need's already in this kit. And as you can see, we're already finishing up our repair, and there aren't any fingerprints left on the components, or any sort of greasy marks. That's all thanks to the fact that we work in gloves. So right from the very first step, we always put gloves on. Now, carefully press down around the entire edge of the display so you don't damage it. Make sure you do this evenly. And all that's left for us to do is take our 2 bottom screws, which have stuck to our ideas. We're almost done now. Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Our repair's finished, so we can take off this protective film. Let's turn it on, shall we? And the Apple logo, as you can see, everything's working. Now, I'll show you that True Tone, Face ID, absolutely everything works. These are real 120Hz. The brightness is just as it should be, working perfectly. And here is our brilliant Face ID. That's about it, dear friend. Buy our handy repair kits and handle all the repairs yourself. Whether you're at home, out in the field, in your car, wherever you like.